My basement flooded, not once, not twice, but every single time it rained. And the worst part? It wasn't nature. It wasn't bad luck. It was the HOA. Let me take you back to where this nightmare began. I bought my house 6 years ago. A quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio. Clean streets, well-kept lawns, friendly neighbors. The HOA was strict, maybe too strict, but things ran smoothly, until last spring. One morning I woke up to the sound of heavy machinery outside. I looked out the window and saw a construction crew repaving the entire community road. No notice, no letter, no email, nothing. I thought, okay, maybe it was overdue. Roads wear down. Fine. But 2 weeks later, the first storm hit. I went downstairs and my foot splashed into water. My basement had never flooded before. Not once in 6 years. I figured it was a fluke. I dried everything out, set up a dehumidifier, and moved on. But then the next storm came. And the next. Every single rainstorm, my basement filled with water. Within 3 months, I had standing water that ruined my home gym equipment, my storage units, family photo albums, and most of my HVAC system. I went to the HOA office and told them what was happening. That's not our problem, the HOA president said, a woman named Sandra. She did not even look up from her desk. Our road work was done by a licensed contractor. Whatever is happening with your basement is your personal property issue. I left that office confused, but something did not sit right with me. Think about it. 6 years. No flooding. Ever. And the moment they repave that road, every storm destroys my basement. That couldn't be a coincidence. So I started doing my own research. And what I found made my blood boil. When the HOA repaved the road, they raised the road surface by almost 2 inches, and they changed the drainage slope. Instead of water flowing away from the residential properties, the new grading was directing storm runoff directly toward the lower elevation homes. My home was one of them. They had literally redirected the water drainage and aimed it at my house. I went back to the HOA. This time I brought photos. I showed Sandra the watermarks on my basement walls, the damaged equipment, the mold starting to grow in the corners. She looked at the photos, then she slid them back across the desk. File a claim with your homeowner's insurance, she said. And if I find out this is the HOA's fault? I asked. She smiled. Then you prove it. That was the moment everything changed. I hired a civil engineer, a licensed, certified professional who specialized in drainage and stormwater management. I told him everything, and he came out to assess the property within a week. He walked the entire road, measured elevation changes, tracked the drainage paths, and took soil samples near my foundation. He spent 2 full days documenting everything. What he produced was a 40-page engineering report. 40 pages, with photographs, elevation maps, hydraulic calculations, and a clear professional conclusion. The HOA, road repaving, had altered the natural drainage pattern of the community. The new surface grade was directing excess stormwater runoff directly toward my property and 3 others nearby. The report specifically stated that this modification violated both local municipal, drainage codes, and standard civil engineering practice. Here's what most homeowners don't know. HOAs have a legal duty of care when they make physical modifications to shared community infrastructure, roads, drainage systems, common areas. If those modifications cause foreseeable damage to private property, the HOA can be held liable. This is a well-established principle in property and tort law. HOAs are not above the law just because they send you a newsletter every month. I hired a real estate attorney who had experience with HOA disputes. She reviewed the engineering report and told me directly, "This is one of the clearest cases of HOA negligence I've seen. We filed a civil lawsuit against the HOA for property damage and emotional distress. The claim included full basement restoration, replacement of all damaged property, mold remediation, and additional damages for the months of stress and disruption this had caused my family." The HOA's attorney sent a letter offering a settlement of $3,000. $3,000. For a flooded basement, ruined property, and a 40-page engineering report proving their negligence. My attorney sent one response: "We'll see you in court." 2 weeks before the trial date, the HOA's board called an emergency meeting. Then their attorney called my attorney. They wanted to settle. The final settlement, full basement restoration, all materials and labor covered by the HOA, complete mold remediation, replacement of all documented damaged property, and $18,000 in additional damages for emotional distress and legal costs. Sandra, the HOA president who told me to prove it, she resigned the following month. The HOA was also required to hire a licensed drainage engineer to evaluate and correct the road grading across the entire community. 3 of my neighbors, who were also affected, received their own separate settlements. My basement hasn't flooded since. You know what the most powerful thing I did in this entire situation? I did not argue. I did not post on social media. I did not beg the HOA to believe me. I got an expert, someone who spoke the language that courts and insurance companies and HOA boards understand. I let a 40-page engineering report do all the talking. If you're dealing with a HOA that has caused damage to your property, document everything. Get a professional assessment. Know your rights. And remember, HOAs have power, but they are not immune from accountability. Have you ever had a run-in with an HOA that went too far? Drop your story in the comments below. You'd be surprised how many people are fighting the same battle right now.